So from today's class, let's start VPC according to this AWS, the point of AWS. Yes. So what is AWS first of all? Whether it's a public or private? It's AWS.
The public.
Okay, public. Why it is public? Because anyone can open account within 2 to 3 minutes and start using it. Since it is available publicly for everyone, we call it as a public. And then what is VPC in further? In AWS, VPC is a service and full form of VPC, virtual private cloud. That means AWS is a cloud first of all, which is a public. Again inside AWS is a public cloud. Again inside this public cloud I can launch my own. My own is nothing but private, which is private, the private tool. So that you can have some complete control over the resources whichever you are launching inside this cloud. When I mean resources, what are resources? EC2, S3, database, etc. etc. security group. All the resources, whatever we are launching every day inside this AWS thing in a public cloud, the same thing can be launched inside a private cloud also, which is nothing but this VPC. So for better understanding, I'll give a simple example only. So let's say bank. Take example of bank. Is bank a public place or private place?
Public code.
Bank is a public. Anyone can go to the bank. So there will be inquiry team, reception, loans department, credit card department, etc. Manager, branch, all this. Similarly, in the bank only there is one space for exclusive letter lock. Lockers are for individual users to to keep your safe, like any documents, any gold, jewelry, all this. So is locker public or private?
Private.
So that means bank is a public place. Again inside bank you are having something private for yourself. Similarly here also AWS is a public cloud. That means what all resources you can use it for free. At the same time if you want, but whatever you are launching in AWS, AWS is having control because you are launching in public cloud, which is AWS. But if you want to have control on with you, that means whatever the resources you are launching inside the cloud, inside this AWS, if you want to have control, not AWS, then first what you need to do, you need to create your own cloud, and inside that you have to launch your whatever the resources you want. EC2, database, security group, all this. Okay. So that's on a high level. So why we are launching, I mean, when already there is a public cloud, we can straight away launch in them and work on it, right? But what is the reason I said we are not launching here? Because we don't have control. Because we are launching in AWS, it's a public thing. If you are launching something publicly, everything is accessible publicly for everyone. But we don't want that to happen. So that is the reason why first we launched our own cloud, which is a private cloud. Private cloud means nothing but VPC, virtual private cloud. And inside that cloud, we are launching our resources or services, anything different. Okay. Any doubt in this? Anyone? Whatever I said? Because you try to understand each and every point carefully. But in today's class is completely theory, no practical. Today's class is completely dedicated to theory. Whatever but this is very, very, very important. Sir. If you understand this properly, practicals are easy. Practicals are just I will show you where or not. That is just you, I think. But you need to know the concept. You need to know the architecture. You need to know the flow of traffic. All this. So now I will draw a diagram. So first, let me draw my own cloud, which is nothing but easy. So I will draw my own cloud. 。 . 。  . 。 . 。 . 。 . . . . 。 . . 。 . . . . . 。 . . 。 . . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 So let's assume this white screen, this complete white screen is my AWS account. Okay. Inside my AWS account, I will launch my own. Please be on mute. Who is it? Ashwini. My VPC. Inside this AWS, you go to VPC service and you will launch your own machine. When I say VPC, so what you are going to do inside this VPC, what you are going to launch? You are going to launch different services. So let's say you are about to launch EC2, for example, EC2 mission. So what will EC2 mission have? I mean the basic thing. How can you communicate to EC2 with the help of IP? So who will define this IP range? That means this is your VPC. So you should define what is the range of your network, right? So how can you define the range of a network? So let's say you are about to launch 100 machines. So all the machines should have same series of IP. How can you define that with the help of
Subnet.
right cider ranges? Subnet cider. So the first thing whenever anyone says, okay, in which VPC you are launching or what is your VPC, the basic information you need to about ask is what is the cider range of your VPC, so that you will have an idea what is the size of that, what is the capacity, what is the size of that VPC. So now can you understand or not? By seeing the cider range, can you understand the capacity of this VPC or not? What is the size of this VPC? How much to power? 16 is the size of this VPC. So 2015 means how much?
40.
So maybe if you don't know how to calculate, that website is you can go to it. Means total how many it is? 65,536 IPs. So that is that means that many number of missions you can launch in VPC. 65,536 missions. Okay. But is there okay? Still that's fine. But is there any? I mean, does that make any sense? Simply dumping 65,500 missions without any differentiation between the missions. That means there should be some logic, right? Like these missions have something different purpose, these missions are for different purpose, these missions should be secure, these missions should be publicly accessible, something like that. Some differentiation should be there definitely. Because simply you draw a box which is called your VPC, and inside that box simply are dumping all types of servers, that doesn't make a sense. So again this VPC has to be something divided into some other components in where you can accommodate public type of things in one category, and which should be secure, which should be private in another type of category. So to understand what is that, how to separate things, on what basis you have to separate things, first of all what is this categories you need to create separately. If you have to understand this, we need to discuss about something called family of servers. What are different types of servers? Have you heard till now in IT?
Web server applications.
Right. Till now we have discussed web server. Okay. Okay, something called application server is there. So as of now you can forget it. Later we'll discuss about application server. But yes, it is also type of server, same like web server kind of. Then that's it. That's it. Instead of application server, much more one more type of server is there which we use listen frequently. even in daily life also. Let's say you have uploaded a profile picture in Facebook and it did not got reflected properly. So what will you see? Where it is not uploaded?
But databases, it won't have all servers.
Okay, database server. So on a high level, these are the basic types of servers in IT: web servers, application servers, database servers. As of now, forget about application servers. Later we'll discuss. So just focus on web server and database server. So web server and database. So what is the difference between web server and a database? Any
Web server generally handles the request and response.
okay? Any others? So we know web server. We have created it. We have practiced it. We know what are the directory structure. What is a home page? If you want to change something in home page, in which file you have to change, we have already discussed. That is web server. So I'll give a real time
It's a
example how.
container where we deploy our application.
Okay, you can set it, but it's much technical. All people can't understand. So let's your customer and take example of YouTube.com. So whenever you are trying to see YouTube.com in Google browser, and you type YouTube.com in your browser, Google or Mozilla Firefox, whatever. So where will your request go first? To the YouTube. You see, whenever you open, okay, when you hit YouTube.com, obviously it will go and hit the first point of contact is web server. So what you will see once YouTube open, something you will see. Some these are some songs or video songs, whatever, etc. They will give the description about the video, which language it is, how much time it is, and different types of clarity are available. But something you are seeing here, right? What are these? Are these actual videos or what we call? Whenever you hit youtube.com, so a list of so many videos will be there on the page, right? So what are those? Whether those are actual videos or the thumbnails, whatever you're seeing, those are all thumbnails. Where these thumbnails are all present, these are all present in web server. But let's say now if you want to watch some song, so what you'll do, you'll click on this song. So where the request will go from now? So that actual video is present in database. So whatever the video, all these videos are just thumbnails, just like stickers to make you to just to give you the information. But the actual videos are present in database server. And can you go, being a customer, can you go directly into the database and access the video?
Mm.
No. Any company on this earth won't give access to their customers to their databases. Okay. So the only point of contact between the customers and company is only from the web server. And who is having permission to go inside database, pull that video and show to the customer? Web server. Web server will go inside the database, pull that particular video and show to the customer. So this is how the flow happens in real time. Web servers and database servers is the first point is there are two types of servers on a high level: web server and database servers of any company. And second point is any customer can access, I mean his or her request will be the first and last point of contact between the customer and company server is a web server. Third point, only web server is having the permission to go inside the database server and pull whatever the particular data is required by the customer and show to the customer. These are the 3 points which you need to be perfect about when it comes to the concept. So whatever I said is the flow of traffic there. Whatever I said on a high level, I said how the flow of traffic happens in real time. In any company, I have just given an example of YouTube. In place of YouTube, you can keep anything: Facebook, Google, Gmail, anything. Every company will have a web server. Every company will have a database server. So just replace the name of the company. YouTube with whatever the company you want. But the architecture is same for any company. Web server, database server. Any doubt in this? The flow of traffic. Fine. So now that you understood, so which type of server should be public? Which type of server should be private now? Now that you know the concept.
Web server is public and database is
Alright. Simple. Which is public? Whatever the thing the customer should be able to access, that is called public. Whatever the things customers should not be accessing directly, we call it as private. As simple as that. And we already discussed, no company will give direct access to their database server. So that's why database servers are called private things. Whereas web servers is the first and last point of contact for customers, so it is a public. So now, as I said, simply we can't dump all the 65,536 machines here. So what we need to do? First of all, we need to, as per our requirement, we need to divide them. Divide means not something outside. Within the VPC only, we will create our own something called subnets. Okay, which we call subnets. So again, so when I say divided, again you should have a cider range for them. If you observe carefully, you cannot keep this value somewhere from sky random. You can't give here 172 0 1024. Why? What is the reason? Why I started only with 10 0 10 24? But why not with something 172 or 130 like that? Where did I divided this to subnet 1, subnet 2 within my VPC? So my subnet should be the subset. My subnet should be subset of my VPC cider range. If you still did not understand, think like this. Let's say I have a cake. This is a cake. If I ask you to divide this, cut this cake into pieces. So you can cut any number of pieces, right? You will cut like this, like this, like this. What are all these pieces? These all pieces are part of your cake. Can you cut pieces somewhere here, outside the cake? Can you cut somewhere outside the cake pieces? No, right? Wherever the cake is there inside, within the limits of the cake only, you can cut into pieces. Similarly, here also, this is your cider range. So if you want to divide things within this range, so these things should be subset of this range. That means this is the larger one. Obviously, these should be smaller one compared to the main one. So which gives more number of IPs? 16 or 24?
16.
16. Can I do like this? Here 24 and here 16?
No.
If you do like this, simply same example. That means this is your cake. You are trying to cut pieces somewhere here. Is it possible? When the cake is here, how can you cut pieces outside the cake? Same thing is here. This is your cake and you are trying to cut somewhere here. If you want cut within inside this VPC, this should be larger value, this should be smaller value. Okay? Blind rule. It's a very blind rule. This should have large IPs, this should have small IPs. If you want, you can cross check the values, whatever the cider ranges I have given. is satisfying or not. 16 will have 4096 IPs. Yeah, not 4000. Total 65,536 IPs you can launch a number of machines. Out of that, how I divide it into something called two subnets. So here 24 means how many subnets? 2 power 8 means how much 2 power 8?
64, 64.
64. If you want to consider it. Of course, you no need to have exact number, but just where in the beginning, so just I wanted to. 2 power 18. How many? 24 means 2 power 8. 2 power 8 is, so you can launch 256 number of machines. That many IPs or machines can launch in sub. So what is the purpose I have divided this into? Why I divided into something called subnet? Why we are? What is the whole purpose of dividing this thing? We want something. One should be public and one should be private. So what type of servers you are planning to launch in public?
Web servers.
Web server. And what type of servers are you planning to launch in private?
Databases.
Database. Okay. Now got idea? The reason I mean, what is the reason I have first of all divided into something called subnet? Because I want to have some distinguish between a public and private thing. That's why I have divided into two things called subnet. And the rule here is this should be always a subset of the main VPC by the time. So here, the basic thing you have to remember is whenever you create a subnet, by default any subnet will be in private only. But what we want to do, we want to make one subnet as public. So always the basic thing is whenever you create a subnet, by default the subnet is a private subnet. If you want to make it public, you have to do it manually by doing some things. What are that something is? First thing is, on top of that subnet you need to enable something called enable public IP. This is the first thing you need to do if you want to make a subnet into public subnet. That's the first thing. And what is the second thing? This should have internet access. How can you have internet access for it? Because this is a public thing. So public means internet should be there for it. So how can you power your subnet with the internet? You have to launch some component called IGW and attach that to the subnet. What is IGW?
Internet gateway.
Yes. Internet gateway. This is IGW. So guys, don't get confused here. In real-time companies, the subnet can be a combination of, if you can have public, you can have private, you can have public, private. But think logically, is there any use just launching public, just launching private? Is there any use case? If everything is public, if everything is private, no. So usually 99.99% in all the companies in any project, the combination will be a public and private subnet. Why? Because I have already given you the reason. One is for web service, one is for database service. And here one more thing you might be having. So here I said you can launch in this whole VPC 65,536. So and here you have already divided here 256, here 256. So still you are having capacity to launch how many? 65,000 minus 256 plus 256. What are some X value will come? Still you can launch that many number of servers. But where you can launch? For that you need to create a again one more. What are this? And define some side range. Something like 28, something like 26, something like 22. So within one VPC you can launch any number of subnets. The only thing you have to keep in your mind is all subsets are, all subnets are subset of your main side element. That means all these ranges should be less than your main thing. Okay. But since we don't want all that many number of subnets, the only basic requirement is a one public and one private as of now. Okay. So that's why I have divided into two things. Here 256 max, here 256, because your manager, you will discuss with your manager and you will accordingly come to a conclusion. Okay, our project size is something this much, our web servers won't exceed more than 100 servers. So what you will do is, okay, then to be on safe side, even though you are planning to accommodate 100 servers extra, so the maximum you can go is till 24. So accordingly you will decide the side thing. Depending upon your project size, you will come to a decision what should be the side range as per your the project size. So the two things you need to keep in mind is to make a private subnet into public key. First one is enable public IP on a subnet level. You see, whenever I am mentioning arrow at box level, that means the complete subnet. I mean to say complete subnet, this box name. The first thing, and second thing is you need to create a component called internet gateway and attach that to your complete subnet. Okay. So now once you have done these two things officially and technically, your subnet is a now public subnet. So what is the next thing? What type of servers you are going to launch in public?
It's a
Web server. So I will launch my web server. Fine. Okay. So whenever you launch a web server, so automatically randomly one public IP will get generated to it, one private IP will get generated to it. Who is responsible for generating these public and private IPs randomly whenever you launch any server? Automatically you launch a server in a subnet, but who is responsible for assigning some random IP? That random public IP, random private IP.
AWS.
Yes, AWS. In AWS there is something called DHCP server. Dynamic host control protocol. This you will see once we are doing practical. Whenever you are creating a VPC, this gets created by default. Okay. So if anyone asks in interview, what is DHCP? So the full form is Dynamic Host Control Protocol. What is the use case? Why we use DHCP server means the answer is this DHCP is a server. It is responsible for assigning IPs whenever we launch any mission. That can be anywhere, whether that can be private subnet or public, that doesn't matter. The purpose of DHCP is it generates IPs whenever a mission is launched. And you can't see this one. It is generating, where it is generating, how it is generating, where is DHCP. You can't see it. This happens in a backend. Okay. Next, talk about the security groups. So, what are the security groups for a web server? We have already practiced. Who can? Okay, what is the port? Traffic port for public to access? 80. So, which side?
HTTP.
Right, HTTP. And who can go inside this HTTP? Whose traffic can go inside? Whether only some limited person or everyone on the earth? Everyone.
Everyone.
Everyone. Why you have created website? So that everyone on this earth should be able to access it. That means everyone. So HTTP port should be accessible for everyone. So you will open it to all. So what is the meaning of all in the language of AWS? In the security case? 000, you will enter. Next. So let's say there is some issue. You have to change some file or you have to create some file. So for that you need to enter inside the machine. So who can enter inside the machine?
Developers.
When I say who can enter, I mean SSH. Who can? Yes, only me. When I say me, who is me? Only the. You are a cloud engineer. Only you will be able to enter inside mission. So how can you filter that only you should enter inside the mission? How can you filter in security group? Had I showed you or not yesterday? What you need to enter in security group? If you have to restrict permissions only for you to go inside, to SSH inside the mission. Simple logic. Here you have given 0, 0, right? For port 80 within the security group, 80, HTTP port, you will give 0, 0. Similarly, what I am asking now, 22, SSH, for whom you will give permission in the security group?
IP address.
No, my only admin's IP. This is admin's IP. Because only admin should go inside, so admin IP I will give. Now next comes the question, which IP will you give admin? Because admin also will have one public IP and one private IP. Which one?
Private.
Public.
Private.
Okay. So this is a very basic thing. I know this is the first time we are discussing this concept. So remember carefully now. Whenever the traffic is coming from outside this main box, that means outside the VPC. That means the first time the traffic is entering inside like this. So always the permissions will be given with the help of public IP. Okay. Whenever the communication is within the VPC, that means between these two. So the communication happens between the help of private IP address. Okay. So now what is the communication? Admin is somewhere here. Let's say I am in somewhere Hyderabad or somewhere Pune, and I have launched my VPC in Mumbai. This is in Mumbai region. I have launched everything, my cloud region. So now sitting in Pune or Hyderabad, I have to go inside my VPC, inside my virtual thing. So how I have to come outside from outside my VPC?
Public IP.
So that's why that means I need to give my public IP in the security group. Okay. So always remember this as a very basic and blind rule. Simple logic. Whenever you get confused in the security group, whether you need to give public IP or private IP, just think one step and two steps back. Where is the traffic coming from? Whether the communication is between web server and database server, or whether the communication between outside the VPC to web server. Okay. So here the answer is public IP. So you will give the admin public IP in the security group. Don't worry about the diagram.
But the public IP can be seen for other missions.
How can it will be seen? Yesterday we seen, right? If you search in what is my IP in Google, you will have different public IP. If I search in my Google, what is my IP? My IP will be different.
Two missions are there in the same network.
Yes, but the exact IP changes, right? Let's say let's say my neighbor also connected to my Wi-Fi. That is what you're asking, right?
Yeah.
So my IP will be something 170, 120, 70, 20, 30. Maybe my neighbor's IP who has connected to the same Wi-Fi provider will have 20, 32 like this. This will be completely same. There will be difference of one number who are in the same network.
So even though we are in the same network, the public IP is different.
Right. So usually in companies, this we don't give admins actually public IP. We will give the office company side admin. What is the side admin of your office? That you will give it in real time. Because that's why you see, even I don't know who are working, your friends people, they say I can't access from my home. You need to go to office and only work they will say. Why? Because they don't have permissions to work from office. At the network level thing, they have restricted the permission that if you want to work on this project, you should definitely use only this laptop, and that also you should only sit in your office and work. Then only that it will work. I mean the communication happens. So these all are restricted at the security level. Fine. So now, okay, website. So what is another type of server? We can launch in private
Database.
database server. So let's launch in private subnet DB server. So let's say which type of database. Let's say MySQL. Okay, I'm launching MySQL database. So what is the port of MySQL? Anyone? It's okay. Remember from now, MySQL port is 3306 SQL database. So, and what did I say? Your actual data is present inside this database, and who is having access to come inside and pull the data and go to the customer?
It's
Only web
admin.
server, not admin. When I say go inside means SSH, but here I am saying about the data, about 3306 port. I am not talking about SSH port. When you say SSH port, yes, the answer is admin. But here I am asking about 3306 port. Who should be given permission to go inside 3364 port, pull the data whatever he
Web
wants
server.
and put it here? Only web server. Fine. So that is clear. But here in real time, will you have only one web server in the company?
No, we can't.
No.
Let's say I'm having 100 web servers. Okay. Now my question is, how can you give permission for all the 100 web servers at a time? That okay, any of the web server at any time you can come insert my databases. Similarly, database also won't be only one. Maybe you also have 100 database servers. So now my question to you is, how can you give permission for 100 web servers to come into any database and pull the data whatever they want and go to the customer? So I mean, my question is, in security group, what you need to give in the database,
Cider range.
right? Right. In the database security group, what you need to give the information about the web server, such a way the permission is granted for the web server, is my question. Yeah, already said answer. In the
Web
database
server
security,
cider range.
right? So what is the web server side again? So you see, I have marked arrow to complete the complete box. What do I mean by this complete box? You see, I marked arrow for this complete level. That means this complete submit. So what is there? What type of servers I'm having in this complete range? All web servers. So what did I say? Either you can give 100 IPs manually in the security group. Definitely it will take for you 1 hour. But instead of giving 100 values, 100 IPs manually, what is the smart way of doing things? You can make use of submit this cider range. So simply what I will do, okay, 33064 allow permission to 10.0.10.20. That means all the servers, how many servers are there within this IP range? All the servers is having permission to go inside this 3306. Okay. If you're having only one mission, then it's okay. I no need to give complete. I will simply give the IP of this web server in the database security. That's it. But here in real time, I'm not having only one web server. I'm having 100 web servers. So in that scenario, even when explaining the cider range, I already said in real time scenarios why we use cider range means if you are having a many missions within the same range, if you have so many missions, how can you group them with the help of cider range? Any doubt till here? Anyone? Fine. Next comes the question. So similarly, if let's say you want to upgrade the package of MySQL, you want to create some new files or delete some old data. So first of all, you need to go inside the mission. And who can go inside the database mission? Only
Admin.
admin. Okay, that is fine. Only admin should go, and of course, only admin also will go. Then now my question is there any way for admin to go inside? Observe the diagram carefully. Can admin so always remember the basic thing is the point of entry into this VPC is always internet gateway. This is like a main door for your house. If anyone has to enter your house, that should be through the internet gateway only. So now my question is, I am admin only. This is not customer. I am admin only. I am sitting in my home or my office. From here, I want to enter inside my database server which I launched in Mumbai region. Is there any path? Is there any path like this attached to internet gateway and private subnet? Actually, it looks like it is in the same box, but observe carefully. This is connected to this directly, but is this connected to this like this anywhere directly?
No.
No. That means technically speaking, there is no route. That means there is no road. There is no road between these two cities. Let's say this is one city, X city, and this is Y city. There is no road between X city and Y city. So how can you travel from X to Y when there is no road? So that means even being admin, even I am also admin, I also don't have road from internet gateway to private subnet. So can I so to make a road, like how I connected my internet gateway to public subnet, can I connect internet gateway to private subnet also like this so that I will get a road?
No. No.
If I do this thing, is there any difference between this one and this one? If I connect internet gateway and private subnet also like this, is there any difference between my public and private? Now this also will become automatically public. Why? Because it is having internet access directly. What is the whole point of why we have separating this things? The whole point is for security of your private subnet. Private subnet should be always isolated. It should not have a direct contact with the internet source. Here your internet source is internet gateway, the point of entry. So definitely this is not the solution. I can't connect my internet gateway to my private subnet to just to create a path, just to create a road. But still I want a path, a secure path, such a way, being admin, I should go inside my database. That means inside my private subnet. So how can you go inside a private subnet to internet gateway? That also securely. That means internet and this should not be connected directly, but you should go. Then comes into the picture something called bastion or jump box. Anything you can call. In US regions they call bastion. In Australia regions they call jump box. Okay. You can call anything. You can say bastion box or you can say jump box. So the name itself is saying what is the purpose of this box? Jump. This box is used as jump for the purpose of jumping. Jumping from where to where? From now you see my pink color line. Is that secure path or not? To the inside my database being admin. Did I connect these two directly? No. But still I have created my own route. How? First I entered into Bastion box in my public subnet. From Bastion subnet I will go inside my private subnet. That means any database. This is secure or not now? This first line, this above line. This is secure path or not? How it is secure path? Still it is not secure path. I have just given a skeleton structure. How can you make it secure? By defining the security group of your Bastion. That means who can go inside SSH? Only admin. So now it is security. That means indirectly whoever can go inside Bastion, and then I will connect between these SSH. So now so here the security group in database security group, you need to allow which IP for 22 IP of whom you need to enter IP of Bastion box. So now comes the question, which IP will you enter here, public of IP or private IP? You got my question right? First,
That should be private.
so it's okay. Let me repeat it. So I have created a box. Box means same instance. It's a normal Linux machine in a public subnet, and I name it as Bastion or Jump box. And what is the security group of this SSH? Only for myself. So being admin, I can go till here. Fine. Now I want to go from here to database server. So what did I do? So I opened 22 port for Bastion box. So that being admin from here I can go inside like this. Now my question is, which IP you should open in SSH? SSH port you should open for which IP? For to make this happen from here to here.
Bastion's private.
Definitely you need to enter the IP of Bastion. That is for sure. Now my question is whether you need to allow enter here the public IP or private IP for that port 22.
Private.
Private IP.
Private IP. What is the reason I said? Whenever the communication is
Inside the
whenever the communication is within this box, always you use private IP. Whenever the communication is from outside the box, always you should use public IP in a security key. Okay, fine. So simply you will write here for your understanding private IP of the bastion for a second. So now, are you having secure way or not to go inside? So no matter wherever you are now, simply you will go to public subnet. From public subnet, you will go inside. So indirect answer is who can go inside the bastion box can automatically go inside the database. Why? Because you have allowed permission to bastion box. And who can go inside bastion box? Only me. So you see, that's how you created a secure path to go inside the database. So always remember guys, the purpose of bastion or jump box, the only purpose, even in real time also we use bastion or jump box only for going inside the private subnet. Okay, only that's the only purpose. That means literally it's a just T2 dot micro instance, 1 GB RAM. Even it can be T2 dot less than micro if it is something like that also you can. Why? Because you are not running any software. The only purpose is just for jumping. It acts as a bridge between two rivers. You can say like that. You can't use web server to go inside the database server. Who can go inside database server? Only web server can go inside. When I say go inside, through the 3306 port. 3306 port is not SSH port. SSH port is to go inside machines and change anything. Whereas 3306 port is only to access data. So here some of you might be having a one, so why to use bastion box? I can go inside web server. That is admin. So admin is having access to go inside web server, right? From here also I can go like this, no? You might be having doubt. But what did I say? There might be some issue. Maybe some hacker can go till here because what did I say? Being a customer, what is your first and last point of contact till? You can go inside a web server. How customers are going inside my web server? Through HTTP till HTTP. Maybe if some hacker once he reach HTTP traffic reach web server from here, they might penetrate into my database server if I connect these two directions. So I don't want to take that risk. So that's why I have created a separate path for my entry in the name of bastion box, and that's why the only purpose of bastion box who can enter is only myself. This is how you created a secure path. Any doubt in this? You can ask. And here I forgot to mention. So, which type of IP will have automatically when you launch any server in a private subnet? Only private. This is the one more technical thing. No matter whatever servers you are launching in a private subnet, any server will have only private IP. Whereas in public subnet, if you launch any machine, every machine will have both public and private IP. Whatever the things I'm discussing today, tutorial, everything you are going to do practically in the next step. So then you will get much more clarity. I am going to draw this diagram much more clearly, and I will whatever the things I'm drawing in this diagram, everything I'm going to do practically. Don't worry about that neatness or clarity of the diagram. I am going to redraw the diagram again. This is just for your understanding. That's why I'm drawing like on a rough manner. So here I want you to focus on the flow of traffic, okay? The path and flow of traffic and the architecture. When I say architecture, this one. Why bastion box came into the picture? Why I can't go directly like this? Why I can't go directly like this? These are the things. These are the things you need to remember. That's why if you observe carefully, I am only giving you the questions. Why I can't go like this? And I am only giving you the answer. What is the answer I have given for you? Why you can't go like this? That means why you can't connect internet gateway with private subnet? For a security reason. If I connect internet gateway and private subnet, there is no difference between public subnet and private subnet. Our whole aim is they should be a separate entity. You should not connect private subnet with directly to any source of internet like this. Source of internet means from where internet is coming. Because from where internet is coming is a single point of entry for the customer. Customer's traffic also will come through that source of internet only. That's why we never directly expose private subnet to the source of internet. But at the same time, how did we manage to enter inside a private subnet? Being admin by launching a bastion or jump box in the public subnet. Please be on me. Who's that? Narendra. Fine. Till here, no issue. Now let's say, okay, being admin, I have entered inside my database and I found out that some package needs to be upgraded. Let's say my database package is running in version 3.06. I want to upgrade it to 3.07. So what I will do, same like upgrade, how to upgrade the package, something like yum update. Not here also you'll have yum update MySQL or yum update. Here you want to upgrade the OS, maybe let's say yum update. So for that, what you require? For firing that command, you require internet, right? Where the packages will be downloaded from? Obviously from internet only. But is there any internet connection to this private subnet? Not only service, the complete subnet. I'm asking about private subnet. See the diagram carefully and tell me, is there internet supply to this subnet?
Yes.
Where?
Internet gateway.
Through internet gateway. How did you have access? Did you connect the
Through
internet?
jump box.
That's what I said. Jump box is just for going for you only for 422 traffic. You can go inside. That means you can go inside, but there is no source of internet, right? The internet has stopped till here only. Wherever you connected directly like this, only that part will have internet. That means only this box is having internet, and whatever the boxes you have launched inside this is having internet. That means you have jumped into the internet box. From here you have jumped into a box which is not having internet. That's it. But you did not take along with your internet with you. You have just jumped from here to here. You did not jump with the internet. You just jumped it. So again you will get out. That means, so maybe I should connect like this. Then only my subnet will get internet. Again, is that the solution? If this is the solution, the first time only I can connect like this. We no need to discuss this much concept. If I connect private with internet gateway, we no need to discuss this much concept. Everything will be public and this will be, one day it will be hacked because it is not a private thing. So here what is the use case? Now here you want a internet to your complete subnet, this one. But at the same time, you don't want to connect this to the source of internet. So without connecting to the source of internet, you want internet. How is that possible? Okay. So that means you want to supply internet to your private subnet, that also securely. Same concept
We
you.
need to launch another.
Right. The same concept. The same concept. Whatever you followed here, like how you have created a bastion or jump box for jumping here. Similarly, for getting internet also, you will create one more server called NAT gateway. Okay. NAT gateway. What is full form? Something network access. NAT is a. So don't think NAT is a server guess. NAT is not an EC2. It's something like, it's just like a component, like how load balancer is a component. Similarly, NAT is also a component. It doesn't have any ports. Which will have ports? Only servers will have ports, EC2 instances, but NAT is not an instance, so it doesn't have any ports. It's just like a solid box. It's something like box. It's just a box which doesn't have any holes. That means which doesn't have any ports. The moment I place NAT here, what is the power NAT is getting? NAT is having a power of internet. From where this got this power? Who gave the NAT this power? Why? Because if you observe carefully, I have launched this small box called NAT gateway. Where I did launch? I have launched inside this big box. And what is this big box? This big box is having a power of internet. So if you keep anything inside this big box, automatically those machines will also will have the power of internet. Yes or no? See the diagram. Even logically also it is correct. Technical also it is correct. I have launched a component called NAT gateway inside my public subnet. So the moment I launch NAT inside my public subnet, automatically NAT got a power called internet. Why? Because I have launched in such a subnet. You can launch NAT here also, guys. Let's say I have launched NAT here also. Now in this scenario, will NAT have a power of internet if you launch in private subnet? No.
No.
Why? Why? Because your main box itself is not having power. So what power will it give to NAT? Nothing. No power. It's a powerless. But whereas the same NAT, if I launch in public subnet, it got a power. It got power from public subnet. Which is, what is that power? Internet is the power. And how it got that power? Why? Because this main box is attached to the internet gateway. So this main box is having power supply called internet thing, and whatever the things you have launched inside this main box, automatically all those things will have the power called internet. Fine. Any doubt related to that NAT and how the NAT got the power of internet? No. Now from here it's simple. So what you will do securely, how can you give internet connection to private now? Simply you will connect
SSH.
nothing, no SSH, nothing. Simply you will tell us NAT gateway to, because I said NAT is not easy to install. You can't do SSH anything, it's not easy to. It's just a component. What is simply you connect that box to private subnet. So now you see, now it is having internet connection or not, this box. It is having a internet connection, but also secure way. With the help of which one? Who is the person responsible for providing secure internet to private subnet? NAT. NAT gateway. To be specific, NAT gateway. So here three things there. This blue color is for providing internet to your private subnet. This black color is for MySQL to pull the data from database server by the website. And the red color is for SSH purpose. If you observe these colors carefully in the diagram, wherever I use this color, this is the reason. Just I am going to bring one more component into the picture. Let's say you are having two pipes, okay? You are having a pipe something like this. Another pipe also you are having something like this. Can you connect these two pipes without any help of other third component? Both are having same size, both are same diameter, same size. Can you connect two pipes of same diameter, same size together directly? No. You need to have something like attachment, right? Something like joint, something like clamp. Okay. Similarly here also, when I say internet gateway you are attaching to public subnet, NAT gateway you are attaching to private subnet, you can't actually directly connect like this. You have to bring something in between called what is RT? Let me get it. Route table. So just remember the purpose of route table is It acts as a connector. It acts as a connector between source of internet and destination of internet. Here also observe carefully what is the routable. One end of the routable is attached to the source of internet. Another end of the routable is attached to the destination of internet. So it acts as a connector. It has a bridge between the source of internet and destination of internet. No, nothing technical. The purpose of routable. Yeah, this is the skeleton diagram. Actually, on top of this, there are some more components. But if I say all together, you will get confused. On a high level, this is the complete skeleton structure. I am going to draw this diagram one more time, much more clearly, because in the next class, you will understand immediately when I draw the diagram. Now that you know the concept. Maybe in the today is the first class, and these are the words you are hearing for the first time. I am definitely sure. Yes, I can understand it's a little bit confusing, not a little bit more confusion for you. But go through this recorded video, pause the video, wherever you are having doubt, go back, forward, or reverse 1 minute or 2 minutes back. 2 times or 3 times you listen to it. But definitely, whatever I taught is in a very simple and easy way. I try to explain so that you will understand much more in a better way by giving you some real time, some small examples. So even though you did not understand this, nothing to worry. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to repeat the same thing again. I'm going to say the same theory again. I'm going to draw the diagram same as is again, much more clear way. And we are going to do practicals on top of that. So once we do practicals, we will get much more better clarity, 90% at the time. But before that, you need to understand the diagram, at least on a basic level. So what is the flow of traffic? From where it is going where? Why we did not connect some components directly? What is the reason? These things. Okay. Any doubt guys in this diagram? Don't go into specific, don't go into technical things. Just in this diagram. I mean, from why this arrow to this arrow, why that arrow to this arrow, you have any doubt? You can ask. Okay. Fine guys then. We will meet in the next class, okay? Have a nice day. We'll meet in the next class. Bye.